I recently posted a question on Twitter asking, would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, 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 because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else. But they're not actually thinking about the question. I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man.
Talk a little bit about something I saw. What is this guy's name? Oh God, his Andrew Tate. He has a short where he's asking men if they would rather sleep with a trans woman, which is a man, or a woman sleep with an actual woman who is a 1 on their scale of 1 to 10. And he was upset because the men were saying they would rather sleep with the woman than sleep with a trans woman. Um, and this made me think about something that I've always kind of worked on in the back of my head, like, or worked off the premise of in the back of my head, which is a man's sexual desire knows no score for a woman. What I mean is, any woman will do, or any uh any vagina will do, um, in that situation. So, if a man truly has a sexual need, he doesn't care if he satisfies it with a 1 or with a 10 in terms of woman, right? All women are equal on that plane. Trust and believe. I really, just from observation, this is a plane where I believe basically all women are equal. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, for the most part, if you have a healthy, intact vagina, there's nothing different. I mean, yeah, men might say, oh, it's like this, it's like that. But when it comes to fulfilling his lowly desire of sex, any woman will do. Any woman. So that in that area, um, when Andrew Tate asked that, it was more a question of how strongly heterosexual are you really, right? Because if men are willing to satisfy that need with another man, then he probably isn't as heterosexual as he would need to be to truly satisfy his needs with a woman. And so, what does this indicate to me? The premise that I've always worked off of, which is if a man is being way too picky, if he's talking about oh, well, your toenails need to look like this, and your earrings and your ears need to sit out like this or be like that, and your hair needs to be this length, and your eyelashes need to have, need whatever. If he's bothered by all these little things, firstly, he doesn't have a true need for or desire for a woman. Point blank period. So it's sort of like if I have a pantry full of food, I have a refrigerator full of food, I have, all the food I could, that I desire at home. But when I'm out, I'm still, I'm looking for somewhere to go eat. I'm probably going to look for a more exotic place to eat at. I'm not going to want to go to just your old, you know, um, probably, a burger joint. I'm not going to want to go there. French fries and burger joint. I'm probably going to want to go to, a little bit fancier, not nothing over the top, not, but possibly something over the top. It depends on what your level is, right? But let's say for the average person, Okay, I got food at home, my pantry's full. I'm not really hungry, but I'll eat. I'm looking for somewhere to eat. I'm going to look for somewhere more exotic, right? Somewhere where I can't really get that at home in the way that I can get it. Like I'm going to want to go to a gourmet restaurant, or I'm going to want to go to a seafood place, or I'm going to want to go to a hibachi or something like that, right? Because I'm not truly hungry and I know I got food at home. So I can afford to be extra picky, right? Especially if I got the money, right? This is the same way I measure men. If they are extremely picky, it's probably because that need is already being met and there is no true desire for for a woman. How that need is being met, that's none of my business. I don't even, but 9 times out of 10, it's either he has somebody at home or he is homosexual. So either way, it's a no. And so I thought, when I seen Andrew Tate asking that question, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Is these men probably, if they choose to satisfy their need with because obviously they're not in love with the trans woman or the woman who's a one, so he only could have been referring to their sexual need. Which one would they pick? So in that case, if they pick a trans woman, a woman who doesn't have a vagina, then they can't be truly heterosexual, or I guess strongly heterosexual. And if they pick the woman who is a one, well, they really have a desire. They really have a need. So you have your two categories there. And I think that's the problem also in the dating market, is that a lot of men are in the dating market and they don't truly have a need because it's being satisfied with whatever. Sometimes being satisfied not even with a woman but with porn, which is far even worse because obviously how can you compete with that? So yeah, I think this is why a lot of men are out of pocket, because they really don't have a need. They really do not have a need, and that's just the point. That's just it. When men truly do have a need, which that is something that is put inside of them, that is something that is natural to men. Um, it overrides everything else. So if that need is not being, if that if the decision to satisfy that need is not being, it's not override, it's not being overrode, right, by, oh, your toenails don't look right, you don't have a fresh pedicure, so I don't want you, or you're not what society deems a 10, so I don't want you. That means that need is already being met. That means he doesn't truly have a need for a woman. Now, I'm not saying that women should allow men to, just satisfy themselves with them in that way, but I'm saying when a man truly has a need, that need will dictate, he will act in a certain way. He will be humble. He will be he will be uh, he will be putty in your hands if that's truly a need he has. If he's truly heterosexual and he's truly looking to not just satisfy that need, but on a consistent basis, those are the men who choose marriage. Those are the men who usually have healthy psychological, are healthy in the head. Those are the men who usually are not cheaters. So yeah, that's how I measure it. That's how I've learned, like, oh, okay, if this man is not willing to do these basic things, then he really don't have a need. If he's not willing to take you out and pay for it a couple of times, at least, I'm just saying, probably more than that. If he's not willing to, help you change a tire, if he's not willing to show up and assist you with something, if he's not willing to do those things, it's probably because he has either loose loose sexual morals or what have you, which means he could satisfy himself in any kind of way. Like he has unlimited ways that are okay with him, in terms of satisfying himself. Or he's homosexual and or he's bisexual, which is a spectrum, right? I guess if some people say it don't exist, but I say it's people who are not strongly heterosexual. So if he's not strongly heterosexual, he can also satisfy his need with another man. He is going to be extremely, extremely choosy. He's going to put undue demands on the woman because he really don't have a need. That need is not there. So that's my point here. So I just wanted to put that video out because I was looking at Andrew Tate and I was just thinking to myself, I don't understand why. I know people are saying he read the Quran and he did all this stuff while he was in prison or jail, whatever you call it. Um, I'm not impressed, and I wish a lot of, I don't know, I'm not impressed. The stuff that he talked